Hey guys, welcome to Practically Famous, where we share our journey of building a thriving social and dating life in 2025 and teaching you guys how you can do the exact same thing. I'm Brad, your host.
And I'm Jake, your co-host.
So let's get into it. We're going to talk about this week some of the recent experiences that we had. And what really came for us this week is how to build a really cool social circle, how to get connected with really cool people, and how to provide value so that people want to keep you around in your social circle.
Yeah, so you can continue to grow.
Yeah, and the same thing applies to dating as well. We're just going to probably be a little more context specific this week on the social circle part of things.
Absolutely.
But overall, dating it's a social game as well. So
Yeah,
the
it
lessons
really is.
lessons are the same.
They kind of feed off of each other. By having a good social circle, you're going to have so many more options for dating.
Yeah, that's very true. Because social capital, right, having a lot of social value is a crucial thing to be able to offer to people in 2025. People are very disconnected in this technological age.
Yeah, I think disconnected and craving more connection, craving that social connection and having a hard time really finding that.
You know, that's why the experience that we had this weekend was so profound, because there were so many people. You know, we were at this big party and we're going to get into the details of it, but there was 40 people there. It was a boat party on a lake, and just everyone was so cool and everyone was having so much fun, and we were actually connecting and talking to people, and you just don't get a lot of that in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was pleasantly surprised at how open and genuine and welcoming everybody on this boat party was. I didn't have it in my mind that that would be the vibe, the atmosphere there, but I was very pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah. And so what happened, guys, is a few weeks ago, I attended a show at a local venue out here called Almost Famous, kind of a club where we kind of stole our name from a little bit. We decided to go with Practically Famous over Almost Famous, but there's this club here called Almost Famous. It's a great club, has great music. And there were 3 DJs playing that night that a mutual friend of mine had connections with, right? So he invited me out. I'd met one of these DJs previously. The other 2 I was meeting for the first time, but we were all hanging out together. We were having a great night. They had us up in the DJ booth with them. And the whole night, I was just going wild, having good vibes, dancing behind the booth, connecting with the guys, connecting with their friends, connecting with their girlfriends, being cool, having fun, and being good energy behind the booth, right? Like I wasn't sitting there with a sour face looking bored, right?
Yeah.
I'm hyping them up, right?
Wasn't nervous. You're actually engaging with them and with the audience.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm doing that, I'm providing value to these DJs. I'm making them look good.
So in this instance, your form of providing value was just bringing the good vibes, the good energy, and making everyone's experience better.
Exactly. I was hanging out with them, and at the end of the night, I made sure to exchange contact information with everybody and remember people's names, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you've been doing really well with that too.
I'm pretty good with the remembering names.
Yeah, that's good. I struggle with that, so I'm glad that you are able to really pick that up.
A lot of people struggle with it, and it's something that I have worked really hard on. It's something I'm just very cognizant of and conscious of, really trying hard to remember people's names, because I meet so many people every single week.
Yeah.
So many people. The fact that I can't even remember names, it surprises me sometimes.
Yeah. That's like we had the experience of meeting 38 other people that we didn't know on the boat this weekend.
Yeah. And so how did we get on this boat, right? What happened? I learned from a previous coach of mine that when you make connections like this, one of the most important things that you can do is follow up. So literally the next day, I sent a message to the DJ to follow up with him, and I just said, hey, I really enjoyed the show last night. So glad I got to experience the energy that you brought in your show. And he was very grateful for that, right? So he sent me a text back and said, hey man, I really appreciate that. Loved having you there. You were great vibes. Our buddy is throwing a boat party in a couple weeks. You should come. And honestly, I was a little surprised that I got invited, because I'd only met him the night before. I talked to him a little bit, but we're in a loud club behind the booth with speakers, blaring in our ears. So it's not like I got to have a really deep conversation, but apparently my energy and vibe were good enough to where he was like, hey man, like it'd be fun to have you along for this ride.
Yeah. And I think that goes to show two things. Number one, how important that follow up really was. I feel like no one does that in a way that's really shows that you genuinely had a good time and genuinely enjoyed being there with them. And number two, that shows you just how valuable, your energy is. Like you talked about bringing value, your positive energy really made a difference.
Yeah. So the key to a good follow-up, guys, is to be very genuine and specific, right? So whatever it is that you genuinely felt, whatever you enjoyed about the other person, just communicate that and spend a moment thinking about that. Like, what really moved me about this person? And I do the same thing with girls too.
Mm-hmm.
When I get a girl's contact information and I send her a text, because a lot of times, maybe I only talked to her for 5 minutes, got her contact information. Every guy probably just sends her a text like, hey, nice meeting you. Let's grab a drink.
Yeah, I'm guilty.
It could be worse, right? But it is a little bland and it's a little mundane, right? So I really like to make a comment about her, something very specific that I remember about her.
Mm-hmm.
So if she was quirky or, a little oddball, like I'll mention that, right? If she was very sweet and bubbly, I'll mention that. If she just had like a radiant, positive energy, I will mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever specifically about this girl that moved me, I will make a comment of that. And usually I won't even push for a date right away. I will actually kind of give a soft opening for her to say that she wants one, right? So I'll say something along the lines of like, it'd be great to see you again if you're down to have some fun, right? Instead of saying like, hey, let's go grab drinks, because a lot of people will say like, oh, set definite plans, said this. And there's a time and a place for that,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But when I barely know the girl, we barely talked for 5 minutes, I feel like sometimes it can come off a little, what? You're like,
desperate.
Yeah. So if she responds like, wow, thank you, I really appreciate that compliment, it would be fun to see you again. Then I will respond like, well, let's make plans. Are you busy Thursday, or what nights are you free this week? And then I'll work with her to make the plans.
Yeah, I really like that. I like how adding the piece of, what stood out to you, what ignited an emotion in you about her, because that's like how you guys connected. And so she's going to be very much wanting to reconnect based off of that energy.
Yeah. And what it also does is it helps you stay more present,
Mm-hmm.
because you need to remember something
Yeah.
about her. A lot of guys, and I'm very guilty of this.
Yeah.
I see a girl, I think she's attractive, so I talk to her. I don't remember a goddamn word she said, and I don't remember anything about her. I just remember like, oh, hot,
Yeah.
I liked it.
I said words.
Yeah. I got the Instagram,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
like, it's not a big deal to get an Instagram,
Yeah.
So by being actually present, right? Because what does the message show her? It shows her that I was actually engaged in my interaction with her,
Mm-hmm.
right? I wasn't just, like
Trying
using
to collect
her.
an Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't just using her or staring at her like a piece of me. Yes, I'm attracted, obviously, but I was actually engaged with her. And those kinds of little things, they just go a long way, right? So whether it's with women or if it's with friends, wanting to build a social circle, how do you stand out to people? How do you stand out and let people know, like, hey, you matter to me. You mattered enough to me that I paid attention to you. And this is a huge way to provide value to people.
Mm-hmm.
People love it. I love it. If people do stuff like that to me, I love that shit.
Yeah. You just like continue to want to talk to that person.
Yeah, people love to hear about themselves.
Yeah.
They love it when other people notice something about them and then tell them about it. Sometimes you're not even aware of it, right? Like, really? You thought that about me? That's interesting.
I love when that moment happens to me. I really do.
Yeah.
So would you say that's genuine curiosity to know something or to know the other person? Or what would you say that is?
It is genuine curiosity, but like I said before, it's also just presence. It's just being there with them in the moment, not thinking about something else, not wanting to be somewhere else. And a lot of times we want to be somewhere else because we're uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It's not because we don't like the other person or because we think the other person doesn't have value. It's just, I feel so uncomfortable right now that I would rather, literally my mind, I would rather it be somewhere else so that I don't have to feel the discomfort that I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. But I've just developed, over time, more comfort being in social situations. So I can be really present with people, can look people in the eye and really listen to them and hear what they're saying and see things, right? Notice things about them. That's like the key. It's the noticing, right? Or remembering a little detail, right? Like remember our friends, the two girl DJs, Dream Cloud, right? What I always remember about them, the first time I saw them, I remember they played this remix of Push Up. And then I comment on that. Next time I saw them, I was like, oh, I loved when you played this remix. And like, you remembered that? Like, yeah, I remembered, right? Because I remember because when I heard it, I lost my shit. I was like dancing my ass off to it. I was like, hell yeah, this is a sick ass remix.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you can see how much that really positively impacted them as well.
Right? I noticed something about them, right? Hey, you have this good vibe because you remixed the song in a way that moved me. Of course they're going to like that. And I like it too.
Yeah.
It's, it's about getting excited about your social interactions, being excited about the people that you meet and the opportunities you get to share experiences with people. Going back to the being so disconnected in our technological age, you don't get to have a lot of that unless you really intentionally seek it out. It's so powerful, and we take it for granted.
We really do. And now that we're talking about this, to me, it feels like we're almost relearning how to be present, relearning how to be social in the wake of so much social media, so much time online. I think we as a society are kind of relearning what that looks like. And to me, this is what that looks like, really learning to connect with people in person when you see them.
Yeah, to build relationships with people and not just have them be fleeting. Because that's at the core of it. If you want to build a social circle or dating life, right? It's all applicable to everything. You just don't want all these things to be fleeting. You don't want to meet someone for 5 minutes like, oh, this person was so cool, but you never see them again. You never talk to them again, right? Like, this person is actually cool. I want to see them again. How can I make it clear to them that is important to me? And so for me, what I found is like, this is step one, is be present with them, be engaged with them, notice things about them.
Yeah, and I like what you said too, of like just genuinely be excited for the opportunity to go out, to meet new people and to connect and to experience life, experience people.
Yep, people are fun.
People are cool.
Some people are weird, some people are not cool, some people are awesome, and that's part of the game, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the times too, if you meet someone and they're awkward or they're rude or whatever, a lot of times it doesn't have anything to do with you. Nope. People lack social skills.
Yep. People lack social skills, and they're dealing with a lot internally too.
Yeah, you were telling me that last night when we were out. You would like go talk to people and you'd come back to me like, people have no social skills.
Yeah, only something that I've realized having built up my base level of social skills.
Yeah.
Like you said, I feel more relaxed when I go out and I interact now, and it allows me to just be more aware of what's happening. Before, if I was as nervous as I was, I wouldn't have even noticed if they had the social skills or not because I was so focused on me. But now I'm starting to relax, so you can be more perceptive, right? Like you said, more present.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back to the boat party. Practically Famous's first boat party.
Absolutely.
We show up, so this was yesterday. So we record these episodes on Sundays. We release them on Tuesdays. So if I say yesterday, it might not always line up. So we show up Saturday morning, and there's going to be 40 people on this boat. I'm a little nervous, right? One of the guys there I'd met like a couple times previously. Then two of the guys there I just met at that club that week. Everyone else was new. Well, except Jake.
Yeah.
Right. I was glad he let Jake come because it gave me a little more sense of security. It's like, okay, even if I crash and burn, I got my bro there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not that I thought I was going to crash and burn. I thought I was going to be an absolute hit and a smashing success, which it was. But it's always nice to have that feeling like at least I know someone here like really well.
Absolutely. That home base.
Yeah. So we get there Saturday morning, we meet at the guy's apartment, and we're just introducing ourselves to everyone. So this is how we start the day. Introduce ourselves to everyone, try and figure out who everyone is, try and figure out people's relationships to each other, stuff like that. How was your experience of the beginning of the day?
My experience at the beginning of the day was good. I was definitely nervous going into it. I only knew you. I had met anybody there.
Yeah.
And we got to the pregame, and there was maybe like 6 to 8 people already there. But I was even surprised at how easy it was to start talking to people, start getting to know people. You and I we talked about, when you go to an event like this, people are more open to getting to know you and talking to you because you knows somebody at the party that they know. So you're like 1 degree of freedom away from already knowing them. So they're definitely more open and more welcoming. So it was good. The first couple minutes were a bit nerve-wracking, but I felt good about introducing myself, and I've had a lot of practice doing that, and just starting conversations and starting the process of getting to know these people. I'm gonna have a really fun day on a boat with them, so started that early.
Yeah, that's a really important point that you brought up, because when you go out to like a bar or club to meet strangers, people are going to have their guards up.
Mm-hmm.
That's natural, right? There's nothing wrong with that, especially if it's an attractive girl. Lots of guys probably come up, try to talk to her. She doesn't know. Are you a weirdo?
Yep.
Are you a cool person? Am I going to feel safe around you? Am I going to feel comfortable around you? Are you going to be able to offer value, like fun conversation,
Mm-hmm.
jokes, stuff like
Are
that?
you even a safe person to be around?
Yeah, exactly. So she has to screen you in whatever way. And that's why we do certain things and develop certain behaviors to help people lower their defenses and their guards around us. One of the first and foremost ways we do that is just by dressing well.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the easiest ways to help people put their guards down around you, because you're either dressed interesting, so they're like curious about you, or you're just dressed fashionably, which is a signal to say like, hey, I understand social rules.
Yeah.
I'm not a weirdo. Like, I dress myself and I look good.
Right. I'm competent. I
Yeah.
know how to move. Yeah.
I'm showered and I'm dressed well, all right? Like,
It's okay. Everything's okay.
you'd be surprised. Like, some guys, not so much.
It's true.
But at a party, everyone knows the host. So you're pre-screened, essentially. Just by showing up to the party, it's already basically declared that, hey, this person's cool.
Exactly.
Guards aren't up so much. Everyone wants to hang out. Everyone wants to meet. Everyone wants to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we pregame a little bit at the apartment, maybe like 15, 20 minutes. And then we load up on a big old party bus, 40 people. It was about even guys and girls, right?
About even, yeah.
About even 20-ish. And yeah, the whole bus ride, I could tell the first maybe 10, 15 minutes of the bus ride, I'm still waking up.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get into my social groove, but I'm still talking to people. I'm still introducing myself to people. I'm asking people questions. And when I really started to feel like I fell into a groove is when I started moving around more.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting down, most people were sitting down, but I was just talking to people to my left, to my right, in front of me. But I did at one point decide, you know what? I need to start moving around the bus. I need to talk to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started doing that, I started to get out of my head more, and I really started to connect with people. I really started to get into deep conversations with people about who I am, who they were, learning all about them, learning their stories. And that was really good for me. And it was cool because, when I did that, it was like a chain reaction effect too. I would talk to this person, I would tell them something. They're like, oh, this person has a similar experience, or this person has something in common, and they'll introduce me to that person or whatever, because some of the people on there are very good friends with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the people on there were a little newer, kind of like me and you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little mix of all that. So the people that go way back, well, I've known this person for 5 years, I've known this person for 10 years, they're the ones that are going to understand hey, I bet you'll get along with this person.
Right, exactly.
Because this person has a similar story to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. Then we got to the marina or the
marina,
the docks,
the boat launch
somewhere.
Yeah.
And we get on the boat, we take off. And so the guys that were putting this on, they're local DJs and, pretty big names in the local scene. So they obviously brought all their equipment, brought their DJ turntables and their speakers. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I feel like you're not a real DJ if you don't bring it with you.
DJ's going to DJ.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can't stop them.
Can't stop them.
And so, yeah, we just had a really fun, epic day on the boat, awesome music, and just lots of connections. A lot of connections I made that were very authentic and very valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to highlight too, just how big of a step that was for us and for Practically Famous, right? To have gone out to a club, met some cool DJs, got invited on a DJ boat party, and went there and vibed and had a great time all day. And like we said, we added value to the party because we brought our own good vibes that meshed well with the good vibes that were there.
Absolutely. And that was kind of my goal for the day, was just to bring good vibes so that I can uplift other people and that other people can have a good day. And I definitely realized too how valuable it is to have a network like this.
Really is.
Guys, 40 people is kind of a big deal.
It really is.
You know, and these people are all high quality people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like we're trying to build our podcast. I was talking to this one girl. She works in social media marketing. So, you know, she had so much valuable things to say to me. And I was really appreciative of that. I was like, wow, thank you so much for sharing these things with me. There's another guy who is really good at video and audio and production stuff. So he had a lot of great stuff to share with me.
Perfect for us, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just everyone. And I was realizing like, wow, this is how you become successful, is by having a strong network of people that you can trust, people that you can rely on, people that want to help you and that you can help back, right? And that's why it's so important for you to be the kind of person who can offer value.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, like, not only were these people high quality, but we had actually a lot in common with them because of how we got connected with them, right? So we go out to clubs, we go to EDM concerts a lot, and we meet a lot of people like that. And so of course we would end up on this boat party with people that all love EDM. And so when you talk about creating a strong social circle, not only are these quality people, but these are the type of people that we vibe with, right? I feel like a lot of times people struggle to find their group, the people that they really connect with. And when you really go out to the places that you enjoy and you can start to connect with people there, that's where you're going to find the people that you mesh with, because they're on the same vibe that you are. They're on the same frequency.
Yeah, that's a really good point you bring up. Having something that you care about, that you like to do, right? A hobby of some sort. Hobbies that are not keeping you in your room all day.
Exactly.
Not just playing video games all day or watching Netflix all day. Having something that's fun to do that other people can participate in. Like participating in athletics, right? You can join sports leagues, pickleball, run club, volleyball, basketball, whatever, right? Whatever your local community has, you can join stuff like that. And you can form social circles around that. Remember we said the kickball team that we met.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Great way to connect with people.
Yeah. And it could be whatever, whatever it is that you like, whatever it is that you genuinely feel good about and genuinely connect with. There's opportunity to create a social circle within that.
Yeah. And actually that leads me to another point. You're saying getting involved in events. What you can do is even better than getting involved, start creating them.
Exactly.
Because that was a big lesson I took from this boat day, is that this wasn't a big organization putting it on. The guy, Elliot, who put it on with his buddy Gio, they organized everything. They got the boat ready. They got the party bus ready. They rounded up the people. That's so powerful. That's a lot of leadership.
It really is. Yeah.
None of us would have had that experience if it weren't for them stepping up and saying, hey, guys, we're going to do this thing. We're going to have an amazing day. We're going to rent a boat. We're going to bring the turntables. We're going to party. We're going to have a great time.
Yeah. Honestly, it's inspiring.
Yeah. Well, it really was inspiring, because I was telling you, even on the party bus to the boat, I was telling you, this needs to be us. This is what we are aiming towards. Having an amazing social circle, building it out, having lots of cool friends, knowing lots of cool girls, and being able to have events like this regularly.
And I love what you said too. Have events like this, because the people that come to these events, we're going to make their life is going to be better. We're enriching their lives, just like our lives were enriched by attending this boat party.
And that's what you always say. People want to feel good. If you can enrich the lives of others, back to what I was saying about even following up, noticing things about people, making them feel good, enriching their lives. Like, guys, this is what it's about, right? A lot of guys get into game and dating and social circles because they want something, which is fair and understandable. I want things too. I'm not saying I don't want things, but the way to get the things that you want is to be a giver, not to be a taker, not to just say, hey, I want, but hey, how can I make your life better?
Yeah.
And when you're making the lives of other people better, people are going to want to be around you. Like, that's one of the essences of magnetism. People feel drawn to you because why? Because they feel better when they're around you.
Yeah. They're having fun. They feel better. Life is just more exciting, more enriching.
And this can be in a big picture thing, like, hey, we created an amazing boat party for our closest friends. But it can even be in the small scenarios too. Like, a lot of times when me and you go out, we have the experience of we're just standing somewhere, maybe even just talking to each other, but our vibes are so good that within a few minutes, like we're surrounded. And I don't think that's a coincidence.
I don't think so either.
I really don't.
It happens so consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Develop that part of you that wants to enrich the lives of others and genuinely want to do it. Don't do it so you can get something.
Right.
Do it because one, like it just makes you feel good to help other people.
So walk me through then, how do you get to that place of, you want to be magnetic, but you're not quite in the vibe of, that authentically enriching people's lives. Like, how could you walk in that direction?
Baby steps with everything, right? First things first, develop something about yourself that's interesting or cool. Have a cool hobby. Do something interesting with your life. Start going to cool places, different events, right? Because the very first thing, like we said, the very first thing that you're going to be able to offer to people is a good vibe. Like right off the bat, no matter what. And to develop that, there needs to be a vibe about you. And your vibe is not going to be good if you're not enjoying the life you live. Figure out what kind of life you want to live and start living it. And don't wait, guys, because I waited a little too long to get out here to Arizona. And it's been hard to start over. I didn't move here when I was like 23, right? I'm 36 and I kind of started my life over. And that was very challenging. But there was a series of things that I went through in my life that led me here. And I don't regret any of them. So it's okay. But it has been difficult.
Yeah.
But finally, I'm living the life that I want to live.
I love that mentality. Decide the life you want to live and start living it.
Yeah, because I wanted to be the kind of person who owned my own business and lived in a place surrounded by cool people, beautiful people, high quality people, caring people. And I wanted to live my life on my terms, but I was so stuck in the safety and the comfort of my old life that I just delayed it for so long. And I realized, I'm not old enough to have a midlife crisis, but it kind of was like a midlife crisis where I really realized, oh my God, I'm not living the life I want to live.
Yeah.
And if I want to live it, if I want to have any chance of living it, I got to do it now.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that really helped me connect with a lot of people in general here in Arizona, but also at the boat party. That is one thing that really helped me connect with people is I just told them my story about my life and the life I want to live and who I am and what's important to me and what I value. Very authentic, very raw, very vulnerable, sharing the really difficult things that I had to go through to get here. And a lot of people, everybody respected it. And a few people really connected to it because they had something similar in their lives that they went through. And that was a powerful experience for me to understand that wow, I've really developed a skill of connecting with people just by being authentic and sharing hey, this is who I am. Because when people talk to me, they definitely, I would assume, can't necessarily speak for them, but I feel that they're getting the real deal. They're getting oh shit, this is Brad. We know who Brad is. he is the real deal. He speaks his truth. He's authentic. He's not fake. We don't have to guess, right? He's really, really expressing himself. I know what he's about.
Yeah. I feel like when you do that, when you show that authenticity, it gives them the ability and the courage to be authentic themselves. And I always say people like to feel good, but I think just as much as people like to feel good, people like to be seen for who they are. And so you having the ability to step up with that authenticity and allowing other people to do that as well is what creates such a deep bond so quickly.
100%. Vulnerability. We talked about bonding on your flaws a couple of weeks ago, right?
Exactly.
Vulnerability will connect you with people for sure. And look, a lot of my story is a story of hardship, and I share that with people.
But I like how when you share it from a place of strength, right? You don't share it from a place of oh, woe is me, I had all these challenges. You're I had these challenges because I'm going after what I want, right? I'm building something, and I'm passionate about that. And I think that is what really is, that's magnetic.
100%. And I had a lot of other people share some really vulnerable things about themselves with me. And I really appreciated that because then it helps me feel I'm not alone. Like you guys, you got to understand something that everyone's going through shit. Everyone. So when you talk about the shit you're going through, it does help them feel seen because they're like, oh my God, someone else understands me. I'm not alone. We're so lonely in this day and age. We talk about disconnected. Like we're disconnected and we're lonely. And we feel like we have problems that no one is going to understand. But the truth is, most of our problems, most people will understand because we're all going through the same shit.
Yeah.
Right? And the specifics will probably be different, but the feelings and the emotions are not different. We're either experiencing fears or guilt or shame or trauma and grief, anger, and even positive emotions too. Like we're experiencing all of them. The emotions are the same, right? The specifics about what's making us feel those emotions might be different. But if you can really share, this is what I was going through and this is how I felt about it, so I did this. People are going to be able to connect with that. They're going to be able to understand that.
Absolutely. And I think you and I have talked about our lives may look different on the outside, but truly we are having all very similar experiences. I think it comes down to what you touched on, like the feelings that we're all going through are similar, right? The human experience at the core of everything is very similar.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, if you want to connect with people, just basically let them know like,
be you.
This is who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where the just be yourself is accurate, right?
Yeah, true.
It's such a double-edged phrase, right? There's definitely ways that it's very true where you just have to be yourself and just be authentic and be honest. But then there's also ways to use that as a cop-out. Just be myself, but myself is awkward and weird.
Right. What does that mean to just be me? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think to just be me, what it means is to be truly authentic, to not hold anything back.
Yes, I like that. I like that a lot, to be uninhibited.
If you think, well, who I am is awkward or weird or whatever, it's probably not actually who you are. The awkwardness or weirdness is actually covering something up.
That's not the true self.
Yeah, like your true essence at the core of who you are.
A lot of people have had the experience of like when they're with people that they're comfortable with, that side of them comes out, the side of them that's fun and charismatic and witty. And then they go into other situations, that part of them goes away. And that's kind of evident of that there's something that's blocking the true you from coming out.
100%. Because I know for a fact that my true personality gets blocked all the time. Anytime I'm in my head. Like if you ever have that experience of I'm in my head, your true self is being blocked.
It is. Yep.
Because that's the whole point is like, oh, I don't know if I can let my true self out right now.
Yep. And you're trying to think about what should I be doing instead of just being who you are.
And ironically, the more authentically you express yourself, the more calibrated you come across.
It's wild.
And it's not even something that like people think about like, oh, I need to be more socially calibrated. So what do I do? Right. And that's not it. It really is about stripping out all the bullshit that's holding you back from being calibrated. Because you can express yourself truly, authentically, and congruently. That's always going to be calibrated.
Yes. It's been a very, very powerful episode for me. I've really learned a lot. Yeah. What really touched me was you were speaking about, when you go out to really be present with people and really notice something about them, right? Notice how they make you feel. And for me, like that's the next step for me. I feel like sometimes when I go out, I do just have conversations just to have conversations. But I really want to be there. I want to be there for people, be there for myself, and really dive into the feeling of how people make me feel, right? So like that's where that connection will start to grow. So I really took a lot from that. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. It will change your life.
Yeah.
It really will. Because living for yourself, really, there's not a lot of fulfillment in that. There really isn't. You can get everything you want, but at the end of the day, you'll just still feel like
you're empty still, yeah.
A little empty, right? And you'll want to know, how can I feel actually better? And it's by doing exactly that. It's by giving value to other people that you're actually going to start feeling good about yourself. So take every opportunity you have, every little opportunity you have. So here's another good story, right? On Friday night, I went out solo, terrifying. I'm working on it, guys, but I ended up having a really great night out. It was a lot of fun. And when I go out alone, like the first 20 minutes are just the most horrifying 20 minutes of my life.
It's hard.
But after that, I work past it and then I'm talking, I'm flowing, I'm feeling better. But my friends were playing again at Almost Famous, different friends this time. And they just recently been signed to a entertainment group as DJs, which is a big deal. They have an agency that's booking their shows, getting them paid gigs. Like, this is a huge step for them, right? And these are the girls I was talking about earlier, Dream Cloud, right? That we met at the first Neon rooftop party.
Mm-hmm.
That Neon rooftop party really set some things in motion, didn't
really
it?
did, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still going on.
Yeah, because we talk about it almost every week.
Yeah.
So random. Anyways, they were playing that night, so I wanted to go support them. And I just took the initiative, right, to go a little above and beyond. I just got them a congratulations card and just wrote a little note in it, gave it to them before they went on. They were so touched, you know, like how many other people probably do that? Like because I thought in my moment when I saw they posted that on Instagram that they got signed to an entertainment group, I was filled with joy when I saw that. I'm like, these girls are so cool. They provided so much value to my life. I'm so happy for them. How can I express this happiness? Mm-hmm. And that's where the idea came from. I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I just give them a card, something tiny, something really small.
Yeah, something
easy.
simple.
$5, you guys.
Yeah.
But it's not about, right? Because providing value is not about dropping loads of cash, buying a table at the club, something like that, right? It's these little things, the little follow-ups, the genuineness,
Make
right?
Feel good and be seen.
And that's what I saw them, you know?
Exactly.
I saw how hard you worked, how much you care about this. And I just want to say congrats. So they feel seen. And then we all had a great night together. So I gave them the card. We grabbed a drink, and then their set went on. So we went up. They let me come up with them, hang out in the DJ booth while they played their set, where, of course, I was, again, vibing and dancing and bringing the vibes
As
for
always,
everyone.
yeah.
I mean, I'm doing that all the time. Anyway.
Can't not, actually.
Yeah, it's baked into my nervous system now. But yeah, so again, little things. And I'm not going to lie, I've not always been the best at this. So I've been feeling pretty proud of myself over the past couple of weeks for how well I've been managing my social interactions and showing the people in my life that I care about them. Mm-hmm. Because I did really at the core, the reason I came out here wasn't to start a business. It was to build an amazing social life of people I care about, people that are just like so fucking cool, that I just love hanging out with, that I just love spending every day with. And that I don't feel so isolated, because I did feel isolated in my suburban life before, even though I lived with my fiance and, you know, I did have friends and I went to lots of music festivals and raves. I still felt alone. I felt unseen, really, maybe even by myself sometimes. And I came out here to live a very different way and build like kind of more that celebrity energy, right?
Yeah,
Practically
exactly.
famous that, you know, guys, celebrities always travel with crews. You know, celebrities are not, for the most part, they're not lone wolves. They have their entourage, the people that they care about, the people that they hold close, that they trust.
Support them, yeah.
Exactly. People that they can be real with, their real selves with, right? So I take it very seriously now. And so, again, after the boat party, followed up with the hosts. Hey, amazing party. This is what I appreciated about. I got specific, right? Or if I met someone who told me something about themselves, hey, it was great meeting you. I really appreciated you sharing about this with me. Letting them feel seen, letting them feel like, hey, this guy cares about us, right?
Yeah.
And now I can continue building a relationship from there. And that's what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That was fire, by the way. I've learned so much in the last hour.
I just can't stop myself.
Yeah, really, that's awesome. Yeah. But for real, though, that's like such an important piece of actually remembering things about people and, like we said, being genuine with them, really seeing them for who they are. I think it's so lacking in the world that it's so powerful when you actually use it.
100%. And it's hard to see people if you're wrapped up in your own fears. So just to reiterate, you still got to go out there and kind of face your fears. The reason I'm here is because I went out there and I approached a bunch of people that I was scared to talk to, and I dealt with that fear and I overcame it to the point that I could be present in interactions with people. So you can try and go out and do it today, but if it's your first time ever, you'll probably be so consumed by your own anxiety, your own fear. Am I okay? Right? And that's a very self-focused thing, right? When you're present, you're not really focused on yourself. You're focused on what's right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
But you still kind of have to go through that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So don't hate the process. It is just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to face all that fear. But once you get through it, then you're going to have that ability to be a lot more present with people. So that would be my recommendation to people is if you haven't started, just get started. Go through that horrific pain period. That's a great advertisement for it, isn't it?
Yeah, right. But like you said, embrace the process.
100%.
Yeah, embrace
Yeah.
it.
But if you know where you're going with it, then you can at least maybe try to start incorporating elements of that.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to go out and I'm going to be scared, but I remembered the guys on Practically Famous talked about really listening to people, really seeing people. I'm going to try and do that just one time tonight. I'm going to try and really remember something that someone said and communicate it back to them. Or I'm going to really notice something about someone and communicate it to them, see if it makes their day.
Mm-hmm.
That can transform your whole entire experience.
It really can. It can. Like I said, 1% every day.
1% every day. All right. Well, that's probably going to wrap up our episode for today. We talked about building a social circle and just the importance of providing value to people, following up, the little things, noticing the little things about people. So powerful.
So much game today.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. That's it for Practically Famous today. We'll see you next time. Till then, go talk to some girls.
Hell yeah. Dude, fucking amazing episode today. Dude, I learned so much.